I've included a number of concepts or a couple of concepts related to sensation and perception in this ACTS worksheets. At the most basic level, we are using in sensation and perception as we watch each of the movies. Sensation is the process by which our sensory receptors, so the biological components, and the nervous system, which we've talked about, receive and represent different stimulus energies. In other words, it really is how we take in all these different energies around us and process it. And the perception is our process of organizing and interpreting that sensory information. So as we watch movies, we have to use at least our vision and our hearing, or one or the other. And then perception is how we organize it to understand it. That said, two of the movies we watch give us some more specific examples related to the related concepts. Music Within, we'll get to hearing, and Rear Window really looks a lot at vision. So to think about those movies, I want you to look at sensation in terms of thresholds. For Music Within, how does the character's injury affect his different thresholds? With adaptation, you can think about with Rear Window, how does that affect the way he views the world around him? Then thinking about perception, we can especially think about bottom-up and top-down processing. You can think about which of these types of processing was a factor in Jeff's thoughts in Rear Window. How did perceptual sets influence the way he viewed the world and interpreted the events that he saw going on? So like I said, Rear Window and Music Within are the two movies that relate here. Rear Window, we're going to be looking a lot or thinking a lot about vision. So to understand vision, we need to start with the basics. What is the stimulus input? And our book talks about how that's light energy. We interpret light energy based on its wavelength, which gives us the idea of color and hue, and in terms of intensity and the brightness. The structures of our eyes help us interpret that stimulus input or help us use that. So we need to understand eye structures and functions to be able to use that information. The fundamental ideas related to Rear Window, though, are those related to depth perception and cues, in addition to the sensation and perception information I talked about a minute ago. That said, I want you to understand the eye and the way it works so that you can understand how we get to the point of understanding depth and the cues. Similarly, hearing is a key component or a key aspect of the plot in Music Within. To understand really what's going on with that character in terms of psychology, we can think about the stimulus input for hearing, which is sound waves. The frequency of those sound waves helps us understand pitch or get pitch, and the intensity gives us loudness. And it's all comes in and it all comes to the brain it's via the various structures in the ears, because they each have a different function for us. Given the aspect of the plot with Music Within, I do want you to think about what structures in the ear have what functions, and how might that relate to the way they're portraying this character. So these are the aspects of sensation and perception that we'll focus on for Music Within and Rear Window. In the next video, I'll introduce a few more concepts related to the other movies.